Alright, it is 9:20 a.m. 9:21, and the main watch list, I made it a little smaller, but let me bring it back. HTC GQ doesn't trade with a lot of range, but if this thing could break the 720 level, that would be impressive. I might even consider taking a starter, just a small position somewhere in the 660s, maybe even the 670, and risk, I don't know, maybe risk 640. So I'll be risking 20 cents, going for at least 60 cents. It could totally happen. It might fail too. That's the name of the game. AMC, UONE, BB is just going to be watching. It's just going to see whatever setup they do. I'll just be watching it. And then for the morning panic bounce place, not too ideal, but really FBCD, MJWL, and WGC, and maybe anything else on the other watch lists that look nice. I'll probably consider it, but you know, ideally it trades with decent volume. I don't want to trade another MJWL. That one was pretty trash. So yeah, I'm just trying to pick better setups pre-market. Let's see what happens. Okay, it is 9:44 a.m. I just want to compare right now the morning panic bounce plays with OTCs and listed stocks. So NWGC, it kind of did something here, but it looks like trash. I mean, we did have a big volume candle here, and then it just started to consolidate, I guess, in the 127s. It got to the 132 level, so it's not horrible. Okay, volume is there, not really there, but it's there. FBCD, nothing. HTZ GQ had a bit of a morning panic bounce play, but it's not really that nice. The stock just doesn't have, you know, any range really. MJWL, I was looking at this, it's traded like trash, just random low volume. I'm just gonna remove it. I'm not trying to not look at these low volume stocks that just trade like trash. You see this 54? It was just at 58. GGII, this one, I was watching this one, but it started trading all weird, so I left it alone. It did eventually, but this one likes to play games. Now let's compare these to listed stocks. AMC, morning panic bounce play. You could have shorted the top of the bounce, although I wouldn't have done it because, you know, at least with OTCs, they tend to spike towards the VWAP and run past it. You know, I don't have too much experience with listed stocks doing morning panic bounce plays. Came back, put up, I guess, a higher low if you want to count the wicks. 48 to 50. That would have been a cool idea too. I was more interested in perhaps shorting this at BB, but I thought, okay, this one could actually run past VWAP. They don't have to be the same, but this one had a morning panic bounce play. I missed BB. I just missed my execution. Just kind of turned around really quickly. You know, what can I say? But I traded AMC, and it was just small, 5 shares, made what, $5. You know, I bought at 936, which was right here, first green candle. Not the best entry, but the way this turned around was kind of strange because we were right at the bottom here at 48.18, and then people just bought it up right here and then immediately opened to this next candle. So that was kind of hard price action to get into, but I still got in at 49 right here, 49.09. So right about here in this candle. 936, and I saw the next candle because it's a NASDAQ. Just wanted to sell the moment I see a turnaround in level 2. Missed out on what, 50 cents, but still I got to sell at 50. You know, I thought 50 could be a level of resistance. It was. I mean, it broke past it a little, but it rejected it eventually. I saw it in this candle at 50.005. So yeah, just didn't last that long. You know, was thinking, alright, I should have held longer for that run towards VWAP, but you know, I didn't know if really NASDAQs could do stuff like that. OTCs do, but not really too sure about NASDAQs. But hey, this one did put up that higher low if you want to count the wicks. Could have been an entry point at 48.68, give or take. Up to 50. You see this one rejected VWAP. Maybe he'll try to run through it now. I just missed BB. Just one trade, small position. It was like a $200 position. I could have traded 10 shares. You know, at first I had like just 3 shares, I think. But then, because it looked better, I went to 5 shares. Really should have considered 10 or even 20 shares. But I'm glad I got a trade there with AMC. It's just going to be a watch now. OTC's traded like crap. OTCs wish they could trade like this. It's a shame a NASDAQ, a listed stock, this one in particular I think is a New York Stock Exchange stock, trades cleaner than the freaking OTC. So that's where I'm at the moment. Nothing I'm too interested in. You know, had I been full out, I would have bought this dip here, sold, short sold, but that would have been hard because it just happened in, you know, 2 minutes. And then buy the dip again after covering and, you know, selling to here. But no, I just did one, and I think that's pretty good progress, although I'd like to have traded larger here, you know, even if it didn't work. Okay, it is 10:12 a.m. I was watching GGII closely for a potential short. In theory, I'd be short at 361, but I did not get executed because I had a regular position size, we give or take, of 361. This is 10,000 shares, and I forgot that because it has the $2.50 rule, I can only short 1,000 shares in theory. So I was not able to get executed. I didn't know what the issue was, and when I found out what the issue was, too much time has gone by, so was not able to be short. But in theory, I'd be short at 361. I'd be watching this VWAP level. I don't mind even if I was only able to do a $30 short position. I don't see an issue with that because, you know, it's still nice practice. This is the type of play that maybe I'd hold for longer, but we'll see. You know, especially if it puts up a lower high. My risk would just be the day high. So imagine, you know, being short 361 right here, and then risking off the day high at 369. And then if this thing puts up a lower high, I'll move my risk to that. You know, and continue to hold. And if it, you know, bounces back, breaks the day high, that's too bad. Right, so that's the mindset. I totally forgot about that. I can only short 1,000 shares. Still, I'd like to be short, even if it's just a tiny position, but that's the idea, right? I'd be short at 361. I'll make an update later to see what it does. I would be considering covering at this 32 level, you know, or wherever the VWAP ends up being, or maybe like not even at VWAP but getting towards it, just to play it safe. That sucks. I didn't have enough to, you know, I forgot about that, but I mean, I'd already be up 10% on this short. That's impressive. Again, it's just going to be a watch. Maybe I'd consider a sum here if this 33 level, you know, ends up holding, but ideally the VWAP level, I'd probably maybe cover half of my position just to play it safe, although there is a lot of sellers on the ask. I'd probably just cover half right here just to play it safe, and then the other half I can hold, you know, maybe if it gets towards VWAP and how it does there, or I can hold through a bounce. Ideally it makes a lower high. I'll make an update when it's further in the pattern. Okay, it is 10:22. BlackBerry could be a head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and then I could risk off of the top of the shoulder. It depends if this thing plays out or not. Maybe even the, you know, this 1527 level is pretty good resistance too. And as for GGII, it is heading towards this VWAP level. Had a little scary stutter thing. Would not have regretted covering half here. This will be over 10%. I would be closely watching how this guy is trading. There is still a lot of people on the ask, which is great, but it could totally reverse here at this VWAP level. I don't want to buy it because it's the second green day. It's not even up that nicely. It's just a continued watch to see how I would trade here. But so far I would be considering covering half. I would be considering covering some. Looks like the ask might be starting to thin up. I haven't been looking at it, but if there's a lot of dumping on the bid, you know, that's something to take into consideration. We have a small wall here. People are still dumping on the bid. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, somebody's buying up with size on the bid. But we still cracked it, but somehow this 32 guy is still here. 31, that's impressive. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. We're back. This is like gravy train right here. This is pure gravy. Wow, I can't believe I tried to get short at 361. I wasn't gonna chase it, you know, even if I'm trading $30, I have to take it seriously as if I'm trading, you know, a $3,000 or $30,000 position, or even 300, although I don't know, that'd be kind of scary. That's nice. I wouldn't mind taking some gravy right here, just taking it all off, no longer looking at it, focused on other setups. That's very impressive. I'll be watching BB for a head and shoulders. If it's a downtrending head and shoulders and it plays off this 15 level, the range isn't that much, but I might consider it. It's not perfect. I like GGII way more. Okay, 1028. In theory, I could be short here, just risking it off this 15-15 level. But I'll be honest, that's just scary. The setup isn't as nice, and this is putting up right here like one of these sketchy symmetrical triangles, so it could really make a large move and be hard for me to cover. Maybe I'm just being too chicken butts. I don't know. I don't like also the fact that AMC is uptrending. That could mean that maybe BB will head for an uptrend, but I'll be honest, this is like a 60-40 chance that this thing is gonna play out and head down. But there's always that chance that because AMC is doing nice, this thing just makes a leg up and just absolutely forgets all of this price action. I'll make an update later, but right now I don't see anything. Okay, it is 10:36. A little not too happy with myself because I didn't take the trade, even though it could fail. It is starting to look kind of weird, like if it could possibly uptrend, although AMC is starting to do a little bit of a downtrend, but you know, it could totally fail, but I would have liked to have been in the setup. I did try to get in at 1032, but as you can see, it already failed. But I'll tell you what, there is a lot of people on the bid just supporting it as it gets under 15. There's just a lot of support. It might not even have much range. Maybe if it does drop, it drops to 1480 and that's it. And that's not really good risk reward to be short at 15. You know, risking 16 cents, you want to get at least 48 cents, and it only gets to this, you know, 1480 level. That's 20 cents. You know, 1-to-1 risk reward is not good. It's not good at all, but it wouldn't have been bad to have tried it, just because, you know, you never really know how bad the price action is going to be after you get in the trade if it breaks that level. But it is struggling. I'll tell you what, it's definitely trying to hold itself, and it is sketchy because it is doing like a symmetrical triangle. But you know, I'd still be holding the trade, I think, just waiting for this thing to crack this 15-15 level and cut losses. If it does, this thing is starting to pick up and look strong. Maybe it'll just head on the downside and make me sound like an idiot, but that's really what I'm thinking right now. And WGC, I'd consider shorting it. I actually was I don't remember when, but I think at one point I wanted to short it when it was 36 cents. In theory, but I don't know. Maybe that was before I had the account ready. It's too down now for me to consider it. It is down trading AMC, so maybe it can do it. FBCD just doesn't. I don't like the way it trades. No good volume, and I can short it, but that wouldn't be very. That would be a small size. That's nice. HTZGQ broke the 680 level. I'll be watching this. Doesn't trade with much volatility, but I'll watch it. Maybe he'll just hold it a little and break down, but we'll see. And GGII, yep, it would have been pretty right to cover here. Maybe he'll break this eventually, right, later in the day, but you know, it would keep me from watching it and look at other setups like potentially BB here. It looks like it's doing it. It's just taking a really long time. AMC is in the downtrend. This is going to help BB head towards the downside too. I'll be watching just to see if it works or not, BB as well as GGII. Not GGII, HTZGQ, to see how that one does. Okay, it is 10:45. I didn't want to chase this at all. I considered it at, what is this, 693, but I don't want to chase it because this thing could reject. Probably won't. I shouldn't have deleted my alerts, you know, for this thing breaking 680. Should have deleted it, or should have put one. I should have put it again once I saw that this thing was on an uptrend. Right, it was above $6 before it was under $5. But it's just gonna be a watch to see how it plays. Really, BB, I would probably be just getting out of the trade at this point, even if it doesn't get to my risk at 15.15. In theory, I would just be out of the trade because this is taking too long. This is no longer. You know, this is looking like it could potentially be an uptrend right here. Another triangle. This is triangle inception one right here. 15-minute is another one just playing out. Even the daily looks like, although it's really just a 15 and, you know, bigger candle format, a triangle. So I'd just be out. It could downtrend, sure, but it's no longer a head and shoulders. You could say in theory this was the bottom, and now it's trying to do some other stuff. So I would be out of that trade in that sense. GGII out of curiosity. That's cool. Yeah, would have been a nice trade. It's just gonna be a watch now for what HTZGQ does. It took longer than I thought, but it's now doing it. Right? If I don't have the screenshot here, but it's playing out that number 2 to number 3 pattern where maybe it could start becoming exponential, but you know, I don't know, it might not do it. So it's just going to be a continued watch, but I don't know at the moment. I don't want to chase this either. I don't mind just seeing what this does, even if I'm not in the trade. Alright, it is 9:42 p.m. I'm just here to call it off and see what happened the rest of the day. I just stopped looking at the markets after that. After that nice drop with AMC, I just wasn't interested because it was just doing some random, you know, consolidation. I didn't really want to trade anything in that matter. And then there was a sketchy thunderstorm, so I decided to just keep the computer off. You know, didn't want to trade midday, so, you know, I just called it off, and I just want to really see what happened afterwards. And it looks like AMC was just chilling. This was about the last time I saw it, somewhere here maybe. There was a panic here, but I don't think I would have traded that because I was, you know, market closed already. And, you know, inverse head and shoulder, sure, but wouldn't have likely have traded that. GGII, yeah, this one did a morning panic bounce play, but the initial drop in the price action there was super sketchy. But GGII is known to do that, to look all sketchy and then do a nice run up like that. But that's still, you know, nothing I regret missing just because it trades so strange. BlackBerry, not bad. I mean, nothing I really wanted to trade either. This was just random consolidation too, really. HTZGQ, I was interested in this. It looks like it did perk above 7 a few times, but it failed now in the 660s. But maybe now I can show that it can start holding its highs and break past it. I don't know, maybe not. There were a lot of people on the ask. Probably just a setup that won't work out. perhaps. NWGC, nothing I wanted to trade here. Not a really nice morning panic bounce play. And FBCD did do a nice run towards the end of the day. Really, I would really like to see this thing do a nice crack well below that 2-cent level, something that really rips. And yeah, that was cool that I was really so close to shorting this GGII. And I would have been pretty profitable too. It did have another leg down. But again, you know, I just learned my lesson there. I wouldn't have shorted much either way, but it would have been a nice trade. Great experience, and that would have been a killer % gain too. So yeah, just going to call it off. It was a good trading day. I look forward to tomorrow.